Today, my guest is the most incredible human, Russell Thornhill. He is a progressive theologian and social justice advocate who has worked in the nonprofit area for his whole life. He is on the Antioch University Teaching Faculty and is the co-director of the Bridge at Antioch. With a lifelong, deep commitment to social justice and equality, a theology of critical biblical engagement and biblical resistance to counteract the negative use of scripture in the LGBTQ community and towards women and other people living in the margins of life. Russell also has a depth of experience supporting people living with HIV/AIDS and has worked on the HIV Planning Council for the County of Los Angeles, as well as speaking on panels in Washington, D.C. and throughout Los Angeles. Welcome, Russell Thornhill.
Thank you, Shari. It's wonderful to be here.
It's great to see you. You know, this week we're looking at the concept of rocket ship. And the idea is to consider that if you make just the tiniest shift sometimes, it can have a very profound effect on your entire life. So I really wanted to ask you, with that in mind, have you had an experience where you really had to make some sort of a shift and were surprised to see its impact?
I had two personal experiences that took place last year. One is that I had been working with my family because my family lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. Been working with my family to plan my future retirement. At 69, I knew that 75, 80, somewhere in there, I'd be retiring. And so I knew that I wanted to be here in Las Vegas with I have 4 kids, I have a gang load of grandkids, and I wanted to be close to them in my seasoned, I call it seasoned, not senior, but my seasoned years.
Okay.
So so I was on a journey, to find a home here. I had gotten the finances in place. I got all of the credit, everything I needed to have in place, and I was finding a location. So I came here and I was looking for, going around with my daughter, traveling around, finding locations. And we came upon this one spot. It's actually the spot that I'm living in right now. And we came here, I think it was like March, and we started looking around, and the woman was this wonderful Black mother woman for me, a seasoned woman who took me under her wing as soon as I came at the door, is what it felt like. Oh, my son, this is a place for you. And so I left there. I came back about 2 months later, and this was the turning point for me right here. I came back 2 months later, looking around at different locations. And then we said, oh, let's come back here. And I came in with my daughter. I came in with my realtor and one of my best friends. And as soon as I walked in the door, she said, where the hell you been? Right? Remember that mother feeling I shared with you, okay? So where the hell you been? She said, I've been waiting for you. Oh. And then come to find out, Shari and everybody, come to find out that she had turned down other offers, that she had turned down a cash offer.
Wow.
And she said, I was waiting to sell it to you.
Wow.
And I recognized at that moment that, all of there was such an alignment with us, with our energy. And everything was in place to make that happen. And when she said that, my daughter and my good friend looked at me and said, Russ, everything's in place. What are you going to do? It's right here.
Wow.
And then the other little piece is, and this is just a small little piece, right? It was a turning point. My family has lived in a location in New York City for about 60 years, and we fondly call it 29, the number is important, 29B in New York City, okay? When I came to this condo complex, the woman said to me, oh, your parking space is right down there. Just go see it.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. 1, 2, 3. We're going to all say it. What parking spot was it? 1, 2, 3. 29.
29.
The parking was 29.
Okay. I knew B was too much to ask for, but yeah, that's crazy.
That said to me, Russ, this is yours. God has this plan for you. That was number one. Number two, when I got to the summer, I was in residency for my doctoral work. And the light sprang on in that moment and said, "Oh my God, look at what are you waiting for? All of the pieces for your doctoral work are coming together. You're in your last year. What are you waiting for?" And it was at that moment that the decision hit me to leave the position of being a CEO of an organization
Wow.
that had been around in LA for 40 years.
Mm.
And before the founder passed away 5 years ago, he put me in as he assigned me to be the CEO. And last year I came to this turning point where either I'm going to remain as the CEO of this organization, or can somebody else take that over so I can do this doctoral work that's going to take me into another stratosphere of my academic journey. And I made
Wow.
a decision last summer to make that change. So not only, so this is now we're going to the second half of 2023. Not only am I preparing to move because I closed on the condo in July, I'm also making a decision to leave a position that I've held in high esteem for the past 5 years in this organization that I've been a part of for 33 years.
Wow.
So after 40 some odd years of being in Los Angeles, I left LA and I moved to Vegas. And on December 20th, after being in an apartment, well, it's just emotional thinking about it right now.
Mm.
After 23 years of being in an apartment renting in Los Angeles, I literally closed the door on that on December 20th
Wow.
and came to Las Vegas to move into my new home. So
Wow.
now, literally, where I am right now is I'm in my office where I teach from my office. I do my study from my office. I write my doctoral papers from my office. Everything I do is right in my office. And when they're ready, my kids come over, and I just go into the next room and bring them into the house, and we just have a good time together. Everything is done right here at home. And
Wow.
this was a plan. This has been a lifelong plan to be with them. Now
Mm.
everything is right here. Wow, just talking about it's just an emotional moment.
That
But I
is
had some key points
incredible.
on the journey
Yeah.
that shifted for me. And I had to take it, when I take a look at this rocket ship concept, I had to take it one step at a time to make that decision, to make the next move, then the next decision, then the next decision. And what I said, my daughter and I talked about this the other day, and I said I was just in this space with her because I'm also a retired pastor. So I was just in this space with her, and I said, sweetheart, it's either for me. This is my journey, okay? Either I trust and believe in God and a higher power, or I don't,
Mm.
right? And if I call myself a believer, then there's some things that come along with that.
Mm.
And I had to trust God every step of the way on this journey. And I did, and I still do to this day. I just had to trust that the money was going to be there to take care of the mortgage payments every month. You're still going to be able to teach. You're going to fly back to LA when you need to fly back to LA. You're going to be meeting your students in Seattle and Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. You're still going to be connecting with your bridge students who are worldwide. And God is just opening up those doors for me. And I am blessed and honored just to walk through all of that.
So great. And you really laid it out magnificently, because I saw that trajectory from the way you described the bigger goal,
Yeah.
and how I'm not even clear if you always knew what the bigger goal was, but that it was, you were moving towards it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. The seed was planted about 10 years ago when I started in 2010, when I started to complete the bachelor's and the master's degree, both at Antioch. And the seed was planted by the founder of my organization and my personal mentor. And he said to me, Russ, in 1982, when he started his AIDS work in Los Angeles, when no one else would do it, He realized then that his work was going to be on in AIDS and the liberation of Black LGBTQI people, and that was going to be his work. He said to me in around 2010, 2011, he said, Russ, and your work in liberation is going to be in education. Because he said this back then.
Wow.
Now, I didn't totally get what he was saying to me, but I always held that. So I completed a master's, that I went to seminary, and I was doing the things that I felt I was called to do, to realize that my work in liberation is not just going to be in the church, right? The Sunday church experience and so on. That liberation experience is going to be wherever I am called to teach. And guess what? I'm teaching at Antioch University. So I'm at my platform. And one of my colleagues said to me years ago, who was in a very similar situation, he said, Russ, what I had to realize was that my pulpit now is what I do in my classrooms.
Mm.
How I work with my students, how I teach my students, what I impart, our engagement in the classroom. That is the pulpit now, and that's what I had to learn from that.
So I am so moved by that image, and if you don't mind my making an analogy, what is your pulpit, right? To the
Yeah,
extent that we all are called, we all have a mission, we all have a purpose, whether or not it's clear. And it's fine if it isn't, But this is a perfect place for us to stop and